And we're back with yet another monthly reading wrap up. Every time I do one of these wrap ups and I go back to the books I read at the beginning of the month, I'm like, that was a different person. I just posted my April reading wrap up, so I'm the worst, basically. But we are going to do May, and we read what is going to be probably my favorite book ever in May. We also DNF'd a lot of books, a lot more than normal. So we're going to start with the Kindle books as usual. I had a good thriller month. It's been a long time since I've read as many thrillers as I did this month. I read The Tenant by Freida McFadden. I believe this came out this month. I would give this 3 stars. Out here is we have our bitch-ass man named Blake loses his high-paying VP job, then has a girl move into his apartment with him and his fiance, who is making him slowly lose his mind and lose everything he has left. A tenant, if you will. Here's what I'm going to say about this book. I enjoyed it. It was engaging all the way through. I think the plot twist was slightly predictable, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. I'm really stupid. So if I can guess your plot twist, it's probably not the best one in the world, but again, I don't know where else this story would have gone. Not to spoil anything, but I kind of knew that Krista was going to be in on some of this shit. I just had a feeling. You have to ignore the advertisement on my Kindle. There is nothing I can do about it. Next thriller I read. I think it's my first ever 5-star read for a thriller, and that was Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. This book was fantastic. You have Ike and Buddy. They are 2 dads. Their sons were married and murdered. The police give up on their case because nobody will talk about it, so the 2 of them work together to basically figure out who murdered their kids. What I loved about this book is that it had a great element of mystery while also covering so many other important themes. One of our dads and one of their sons is Black, and there were just so many good discussions about race and sexuality and intersectionality that I found very enriching. I feel like I learned a lot watching the way in which basically this white dad and this Black dad interact with each other and basically process, one, that their sons were gay at all because they both had issues with that, and 2, that they were bad parents for the way that they treated their sons when their sons came out to them. It was just a really impactful story. I really enjoyed the writing style. It was engaging all the way through, and it had a good plot twist at the end. I think the plot twist was slightly predictable, like I kind of started to guess it, but it was still good nonetheless, and I think it was a really important lesson. The only thing I disliked about this book is that it was entirely in third person perspective, which I'm normally fine with, but it would switch who it was talking about in the third person, like in the middle of a paragraph. Other than that, excellent book. Highly recommend if you love thriller books. The X by Freida McFadden. I saw one of my favorite TikTokers, like not even just a book talker, she's one of my favorite TikTokers ever. Paige Sheffield is her name. She read The X and she was like, this book is so good, and I know Freida McFadden's a really popular author, but why is no one talking about it? So I was like, well, I'm gonna read it then. I gave it 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. It goes back and forth between the perspective of this guy's ex-girlfriend and his current girlfriend, and the plot twist was really great. I really, really, really loved the plot twist, and I did think this was really engaging all the way through. I had a good time. If you like a thriller, you're gonna like it. Finally, I read The Roses of May by Hutchison. I read Butterfly Garden by Hutchison and loved it. This is the second book. I am very hesitant with thriller series. This book confirmed that for me. It confirmed that hesitation. I just don't know that I saw the point. It was almost an entirely separate story, and it could have been just an entirely separate book. It's in the same world as book 1, so it's similar characters, but new people get introduced because we're basically talking about a new serial killer, but the serial killer basically kills girls in a church and leaves flowers for them, like a bunch of different types of flowers, and the sisters of one of the girls has been getting flowers on her porch in the same order as he left the flowers with the girls he killed. She kind of talks to the characters from book 1. It's not that I disliked that, I just don't think it was necessary, and I think it added a lot of fluff to the book that didn't need to be there. Like, this could have just been a separate book. I gave it 2.5 stars. I thought the plot twist in this was super obvious. I thought who the killer was super obvious. Like, literally the moment I met him, I was like, well, it's him, for sure. Now we're gonna move on to romance books that I read on my Kindle this month, and we're starting with a DNF. I have been wanting to read Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto for a very long time. It has been on my TBR for a very long time. I finally picked it up, and then I put it right back down, bitch. Our plot is that our FMC plays the violin, but apparently can pick up the cello and just slay it immediately, and it threatens our arrogant as fuck MMC. I like an arrogant man in a book. I think it's fun. I think it adds a fun little element. But this guy, I was like, you're annoying as fuck. Get over yourself. He was such a little bitch. I could not get over it. And they hate each other at first because he's threatened by her and he's a dick to her. So she's like, well, fuck you. You're the worst. And then all of a sudden they're in love. I'm like, what? So I ended up DNFing it. I was like, girl, he's such a dick to you. Why are you asking him to hang out? You know what? If you like rivals and if you like for real assholes, like the worst men ever, you might like this book. I did not. And everyone's like, the cello scene was mid at best. Another book I almost DNF'd but didn't, Face Off by Chelsea Curto. Curto? I gave this a 2.5. I put, a woman joins the NHL, in parentheses, awesome, and starts hooking up with the captain, in parentheses, not awesome. Tropes we have: forbidden romance, workplace romance, hockey romance. Things I liked about this book: a woman in the NHL. Really cool. I thought that was a cool element. And I like that it wasn't just like done and then not talked about. It was addressed over and over again. Like, hey, this is not normal, I guess. Because, in some worlds, it's like, okay, a girl plays hockey with a bunch of men, and you just accept that that's the way that world is. But it isn't in this one, and I appreciated that. I thought the whole question game that they played also was super fucking cute. Like, the captain to basically try to become friends with her is like, I'm going to ask you a question every day, and you get to ask me a question every day. And then that's how he ends up proposing, which is really cute. But I don't know what it was about Maverick as a character. He's our MMC. I just couldn't figure out what the author was going for with him. Is he supposed to be the playboy refuse to commit guy, or is he the golden retriever sunshine guy, or is he the bad boy? There were a lot of things going on with him, and I feel like I just didn't really ever get to know his character. I don't even remember the woman's name, like the main character's name, but she just really hates him at first. And I get that he hit on her at the beginning, but like, I don't know, he wasn't blatantly disrespectful to her, and she just hated his guts like right off the jump. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I also feel like this book was semi-long, but also felt very rushed at the same time. I don't know. I almost DNF'd this. The only reason I didn't is because I was going to get my eyelashes done and I needed something to listen to, and that was the only book I had on deck. So I don't know if I'll be continuing the series. People really love this series, but I'm worried because that's people's favorite book in the series is the first one, and I really did not like it. Flop, flippy, flip, flopping ass bitch. Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforde. Learned it's Tomforde, by the way. Oh man, what a great book. This has just cemented for me, this month has cemented for me, and we'll get into that even more later, just how much I love a second chance romance. I just love them. There is something about it, which is crazy because in normal life, I'm like, don't get back together with your ex. Don't get back together with your ex. I think most of the time, bad idea. But in books, every time I'm going to eat it up. I gave it 4.75 stars. I gave it 3 chilies. I think it might be my favorite in the series. I can't believe it. Okay, here's our plot. Rio DeLuca is the single bitch in his friend group, and he's feeling left out until all of a sudden, his new neighbor is his ex-girlfriend that he never really got over and has been comparing all other women to. Hallie is poor and got volunteered to renovate a famous hockey player's house who just so happens to be, surprise, her ex-boyfriend. Bitch. Tropes we have: second chance romance, duh. Forced proximity, childhood friends to lovers, to exes to lovers again. Rio is the cutest man I've ever met. I was really apprehensive. Like I said last month, I don't really care about Rio. Where's Monty's book? I do still feel that way about Monty, obviously. But I loved Rio. I loved all the different sides that we got to see to him. We got to see his silly fun side. We got to see his more serious side. We got to see his, it was just amazing. They had me on the edge of my seat wondering what the fuck happened to them the whole time. Like, what happened in their relationship that made it go so poorly. Hallie came out of nowhere, but I loved her. I loved her character. She might be my favorite woman in the series. I love how smart she was. I love how determined she was. I love how self-sufficient she was. Like, she didn't need anybody. These two just complemented each other so well to me. The whole playlist idea too. So basically, Hallie used to make playlists for every year and would pick songs that represent important moments in her life, and then for her birthday every year, her and Rio would go back and listen to them, and she would explain all the special moments. Love that idea, and I'm stealing it. I just love that Rio stays his silly little self, but also becomes so hot. It's crazy. Dislikes: not enough Monty. I don't know why he'd be in this book, but I don't care. I missed him. Next two are MM romances. I think Ashley James is the author's name. I got this recommendation from Bookish Jono. He's like one of my favorite book content creators, and I feel like I always like everything that he likes. So the first book I read is 8 Seconds to Ride. I gave this 3 stars, 3.5 chilies. I was just like, I need a cowboy romance. Like, I need water to drink, bitch. So our tropes, we have rivals and we have a reformed fuckboy, which y'all know how I feel about a reformed fuckboy, but I was okay with it here. So our plot is that we have Scooter. He's low-key an arrogant little bitch cowboy who's used to winning everything, and then he meets this shy cutie, Sterling, who's almost as good as he is in bull riding, and now he's threatened but also intrigued. So that's our plot. It's small town. It's very cowboy. Obviously, as I said, it's MM. It was hot. I'm just gonna say it. It was really hot. I really really enjoyed this book. I think these two balanced each other out very well. I think Shooter goes through a lot because, again, like, he's an arrogant fuck. Like, at first I was like, oh, I hate him. I actually don't even like him, but then he grows on me. It was very entertaining. I really love worlds where being gay is just like normal. Like, it doesn't have to be some big traumatic thing. Like, this is just a group of gay cowboys, and it's just normal. And I know that's not reminiscent of real life, but sometimes it's nice to just fantasize. You know what I mean? Dislikes. There's a lot of spice in this book. I'm not mad about it, but you get right into it. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I do think it makes sense for the characters in the story, though, so I don't really mind. And then the other thing is, I feel like there are characters who are going to be relevant for the rest of the series, but I don't know them. And that remains true because the main character of the next book, which is Dirt Road Secrets, is Cope. Cope is Shooter's BFF. And I was like, well, I don't feel like I know anything about Cope. I just read this and I was like, where the fuck is Whitney and Conrad's second chance romance, bitch? Where is it? I looked at the other books to see which one was theirs because I was like, okay, I need it. And it doesn't exist. And they keep hinting at it. They hinted at it in book 2 too. So where is it? Where is it? Is she writing it? Someone please tell me. I gave this a 4 stars. I really loved this book. This book was so simple and easy and fun. It was not the most intricate plot in the world. Not a lot even really happened, but it was still just it was just a very fun time. So Cope is a rodeo guy. He's a bronc rider, but it's not what Shooter does. It's something different. I don't really know. He ends up becoming super intrigued and infatuated by this city boy marijuana smoker named Xander. He has never been with a man before. He thought he was straight, basically. But then he meets Xander and he's like, well, wait a damn minute, maybe I'm not. I really loved that element. So he's back in town to take care of his aunt, who is neighbors with Cope, and they end up falling for each other, and it's really cute. Tropes, we have opposites attract, friends to lovers, and small town romance. This was just the easiest and sweetest story ever. The only dislike I wrote down is where the fuck is Whitney and Cormac's second chance romance book, Ashley James? I will beat down your door. So those are all my Kindle books. Oh god, you guys. I told you that this month I read my new favorite book ever. This is like the only part of my TBR that I stuck to. The Conditions of Will by Jessa motherfucking Hastings. 6 stars. New favorite book ever. I am mad at myself that I didn't pick it up sooner. Georgia finds out that her dad is dead. Georgia's our FMC. She has to return from England, where she's been living for the past 10 years, I want to say, to her small town home in South Carolina with her uber religious and horrible family, who basically put her gay brother through hell and her through hell. If you're going to want to check your trigger warnings with this for sure, but isn't it literally so stunningly beautiful and gorgeous? While she's home, she meets her brother, gay brother's sponsor, Sam Penny, who is everything good and wonderful in the world. And while figuring out how to navigate her horrible family and how to reconcile what she's learning about her dad, Sam is like a rock for her. Tropes, insta love, but done well, which y'all know me, I don't like insta love, but this, it was so necessary for the story. And I don't think the romance is the main plot point of the story either. I think the discussions about religion and family dynamics, that's what this book is about. And oh my god. So let's talk about the love story though. It's insta love, which I'm normally not a fan of, but it does just fit perfectly with the rest of the story. Sam was exactly what Georgia needed. He was her voice and her defender that she's never had before, and I just loved getting to watch their love unfold, even if it was quick. The part that stuck out to me the most and resonated with me the most was definitely the religious aspect of it. The way that Jessa Hastings describes God had me choking up and just made me feel seen in a way that no other book has made me feel seen. She just so perfectly captured the ways in which my view on religion has shifted over the years as someone who grew up in the church. It was so honest and vulnerable and relevant. This was a beautifully painted picture of the harm that religion can do when it is weaponized against minoritized communities like the queer community, like women. The distinction between believing in God and being a part of the church was so wonderfully done. And I just loved the conversations that Sam and Georgia had about where Georgia stands when looking at faith now, especially given what she's been through by her horrible religious family. I particularly appreciated, too, the way that Sam expressed his own doubts about faith, and never once did Georgia make him feel any type of way about it. Even the ways in which Georgia talks about her mother, who has done horrible fucking things to her daughter in the name of religion. She talks about her by saying, like, you know what? She's a product of her environment. She did what she really thought was best. That was just, oh man, it just hit real close to home. It was so good. The family dynamics. They were very complex and they were so painfully human. She has such a gift of throwing you so deeply into the lives of her characters that by the end, like, Oliver felt like my brother. I understood all the complex feelings that Georgia had associated with him and his addiction and his failing sobriety. I just have never met an author who has made her characters so three-dimensional. And Jessa Hastings, she just has a gift at doing that. I wish Marianne would have gotten her ass whooped into next Tuesday. Let me be clear. Fuck her. Everyone gets a redemption story except for her. Fuck her. And Tennyson, oh, he pulled through at the end. I loved that. I loved getting to see him, like, basically see the light go on behind his eyes. Like, oh, I fucked this up. It was just so refreshing and beautiful. It makes me mad that I haven't read everything she's ever written sooner. I'm gonna read Never this month. Maybe it's Pride Month. I'd like to read queer authors and queer stories, but she's just that bitch. She's everything to me. She is my number one author, cemented. It is not even close. So that's Conditions of Will, my first 6-star read. Can I lean back on this? No. The Ministry of Time. As you can see, I have not finished it. I told my friend I'd read this for a book club. To be honest, I just have not had the desire to pick it back up. So our main character works for this organization called The Ministry, which is basically an organization that is testing time travel, and she houses people from the past in her house. Not in her house. They're given another house. Just to kind of help them accommodate to normal life. So our main character is living with a guy who, I don't even remember what time period he's from, but it's not hers. It's like the 1800s or something. And I think they're going to fall in love, but I haven't finished it and I don't know if I will be finishing it. I think the plot is super interesting. I just didn't love the way that it was written. I thought it was really confusing at different points, and I just got too bored. Honestly, not going to call this a DNF. I'm going to call this a pause or a soft DNF, but I just don't know that I'll be picking it back up. Hey, remember when I said I love a second chance romance? This was the book that cemented it for me. This book is so, it leaps and bounds better than the first three. And I liked the third book. This one, no, bitch. It's not a competition. This book was so good. 4.5. I would probably give this like a 2, 1.5 to 2 on the spice scale. Not super spicy, but the best spice in her series so far, goddammit. It wasn't cringing me out, making me want to bang my head against a wall. Tropes it's second chance romance, baby. Oh, it's second chance romance. And they were high school lovers. It goes back and forth in between time. This is about Cam. Cam is the mother to Gus's child. She is a single mom. She wasn't single. The beginning of the book is her getting stood up on her wedding day, and her ex is back in town, and he basically helps her forget about it because he's such a good man. I need Dusty so bad. I was so obsessed with him this entire book. He's just so gentle with her and so kind to everybody, and I'm gonna throw up. I also really love Gus and Cam's friendship in this. Like, I love how protective Gus is over Cam. I really can't think of any dislikes in this book, but it's not 5 stars. I know that. But it's really good. I know some people don't like a second chance romance. Grow up. That's really all I have to say about that. Speaking of cowboy romances, Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope. I have had this on my shelf forever. I was like, shit, let's just finish my cowboy shelf while I'm on a roll here. Cutest cover ever. That is the only thing I like about this book. I am not one to hate a certain writing style. I really am not that picky. If I see 1 or 2 typos, I'm like, whatever. I'll get over it. This is unbelievable that this got published. It actually really started to piss me off because I would like to read this book, but I can't because the typos are so bad. The run-on sentences are so bad. She doesn't know how to use a period. She uses commas instead of periods. I am 50 pages in and I don't think I can finish it. And I'm furious because I'd like to read this and I'd like to read this book too because this has like a lessons element to it that I really wanted to read, but I don't think I can because if it is anywhere near as bad as book 1, I'm not going to be able to do it. But yeah, isn't that too bad? Because damn, that's a cute cover and it looks so good on my shelf. Mockingjay. I'm doing a Hunger Games vlog, so I'm going to talk about this more there. But basically all you need to know is this has definitely been my least favorite book so far. I don't like that Katniss was just passed out for most of the book. It feels like I get she was going through a lot, but use multiple perspectives then. That's what I honestly appreciate about the movies versus the books in this circumstance. Because in the movies, we get multiple perspectives, so we know what the fuck's happening when Katniss is just passed out for days at a time. I just wasn't as impressed with this as I would have liked. Reads for next month. I'm finally reading First Time Caller. I'm 50 pages in. I'm having a good time. I'm going to finish this in the next few days. I want to read queer authors. I'm going to get this posted hopefully sooner than the end of fucking June. So if you have queer authors or queer stories that you want to recommend to me because it's Pride Month, please let me know because I want to read more gay romance. Gay as an umbrella term. And that's what I read this month. I'm going to read First Time Caller. You know, I said I was going to read Say You'll Remember Me, but who knows if I'll do that. I would love to read Never now that I know that Jessa Hastings is the GOAT. But yeah, it's going to be a queer romance month or just queer stories month. All in all, I'm really excited. I'd like to read some queer fantasy books too. That'd be really fun. Thank you so much for my 1 or 2 fans that watch this every month. I love y'all down. Thank you for letting me come on here and rant. I'll see you next month.